Hello, I'm Philip Duncan. Thank you very much for joining us. Well, we had a bit of a busy morning with that big 7.7 earthquake up in the Loyalty Islands, which are just off the map here in towards Vanuatu. 7.7 is pretty big, but New Zealand Civil Defence has given New Zealand the all clear now, so that is the good news. However, offshore, we've got an ex-cyclone sort of. It wasn't named by the Fiji Met Service. It maybe should have been. It got up to about category 1 as it passed Tonga. Very borderline though, so cut them some slack. But the system is offshore, producing some big swells and dangerous currents. So forget about the tsunami risk. It's actually more about the offshore storm generating some bigger swells and dangerous beach conditions in some eastern parts of New Zealand. At the other end of the country, we've got another low, and that's generating a windier sou'wester, slightly cooler. We saw some snow on the mountains yesterday. Now things are about to slowly start to warm up, especially by Saturday. This is the Friday setup. So the winds die down in the south here after having a few days of southerlies. Now they start to ease. High pressure is in charge. Perhaps still a bit of a slightly cooler southerly around the Auckland area after the more humid weather you had earlier this week. But the winds are light, and apart from a couple of drizzle patches, it is looking mostly dry. As we go into Saturday, like I said, things warm up a little bit. Down here in the South Island, if you track the origins of the winds, they're coming out of the subtropics now and then coming down as a nor'wester. So that will push up the temperatures inland and out to the east and down to the south. The North Island's got light winds, not much going on Saturday. Should be a nice calm day right across the island. As we go into Sunday, there's a bit of a change, and this is really leading into next week. The easterlies come back. That's pretty much La Nina defined. More humidity, increased chance of tropical lows or subtropical lows, and a lot of easterly winds blowing around New Zealand, and that's what we're about to get next week. It starts on Sunday with that nor'easter just around the far north and northern parts of Northland. Everybody else pretty much light winds again, but you're going to see what happens with that low. So that's that's Sunday. As we go into Monday, there's that low deepening quite quickly, which is different to most of the other lows we've seen over the last year or two. They've all weakened as they've come into New Zealand because of blocking high pressure, but there's not a lot of high pressure around the country. It's out here south of Tasmania, and the other high is southeast of the Chatham Islands. So that allows that low coming in from the north to deepen and spread out. That allows the windy easterlies to kick in on Monday with rain spreading down from the north. And by Tuesday, that rain spreads down the North Island. It's patchy. The totals may not be that great in places like Waikato, for example, but we'll keep an eye on it. We'll give you a better update with the rain on Friday and into the weekend as well in our news stories. The windy easterlies, though, they could be gale force anywhere from about Auckland right down to Fiordland. So that's quite a lot of windy weather between that low and the big strong high, 1030 hectopascals basically down here just south of New Zealand. So it is a low worth keeping an eye on. It's the first one we've seen that's looked like this in quite a while. There is a chance of the low lingering for a few days and another one behind it, which could be an ex-cyclone, drifting down as well. So this is looking a lot more like La Nina. La Nina hasn't finished with us, although it has peaked. But we're just going in now to the peak of the sea surface temperatures, which are in March, and they produce lots of these lows, or at least they can do. So we're certainly seeing a better chance for rain for these dry areas. We need a lot more than fell yesterday. Most places got a lot, about 6 to 10 millimeters was a number we saw a lot in that area. So some of you got a bit more, some of you had a little bit less. Either way, we need more rain, and there's a better chance of that happening next week. All right, well, it's been a long morning for me already. Civil Defence phone call rang at 2 in the morning, another one at 4. So we're dealing with that. But as I say, good news to see that Civil Defence has cancelled the warnings for New Zealand. There is no threat. But with that offshore storm, those beaches in the north are still going to be a little bit rough. That's all from me. We'll see you on Friday.